Hey guys, it's Kathy. I'm just checking my mic. Checking my mic. Yep. All right, you can hear me. Awesome. Happy Friday. Friday. Oh, I love Fridays. I love Friday. What are you most excited about today? What are you most excited about for the weekend? I will speak. I will speak on this. I'm excited to see Frankenstein. I'm excited for the Frankenstein movie that's coming onto Netflix. And I'm going to watch it this weekend with my friends. And I'm excited to see it. Finally. Hey. It fits into our theme. I can discuss because, first of all, it fits into Inktober because we just did Mary Shelley. So we are on theme, sort of. And second of all, Mary Shelley's from the 1800s. And we're doing 1800s. So yes. So today we're doing Sarah Noble Ives. Hold on one second. We are doing Sarah Noble. I just want to make sure. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I scheduled all of our lives for the month yesterday. I did that. So I have a lot of names like flowing. Lots of names flowing through my brain right now of these artists, and I'm super excited because we have a lot of excitement coming up. And I wanted to show you because I just ran out. So because I always talk about my coffee, I wanted to show you what coffee I've been drinking that I am now out of. It's Counterculture Fast Forward coffee. I really like it, but it's just a hair on the light side for me. Like on the less rich side. I don't typically go for I don't go for a dark roast. I don't like dark roast. And this is somewhere between a light and a medium roast. So maybe it's more light. So this has Nicaragua 70% and Guatemala 30% beans. So it's actually very good. I would buy it again. I'm just I'm just putting the barometer against my absolute favorite coffee. So I like it a lot. It's not my favorite, but it's very good. It's very good. It's kind of like what I like, but like a little bit light. Light on the palate. It's not as intense. Not that I do intense. I don't usually do intense coffee either. But anyway, I'm not a coffee reviewer. I'm just a coffee lover. So let's go to read about our friend Sarah. I'm wearing my Altadena sweatshirt today in her honor because she wrote a history of Altadena book when she retired. She moved to Altadena with her sisters, which I think is such a sweet story. And they bought a house there and they lived there, and I'll read you a quote that somebody said. She was like this cute little old lady that walked around the neighborhood and looked for information. Knocked door to door looking for information from people about Altadena, which is so cute. In the late 1930s, a very lovely little old lady trudged up and down the streets of Altadena ringing doorbells. Her name was Sarah Noble Ives, and her house-to-house canvassing was not to sell books, but to get her information to write a book. And the history of Altadena was born. Isn't that sweet? That was from Mrs. Clara T. Johnson, personal journal, property of, I believe that's Altadena Historical Society. So this is the Altadena Historical Society website, and I have her obituary pulled up so we can read it later. Here she is. This is her. She died at age 80, and she's very sweet. Look at how cute she is. I love her. And we're going to look at her artwork, which is beautiful, and we're going to do some of it, and we're going to do a little twist on her artwork today because I'm feeling a little overly black and white inked, and I feel like I need some color in my life. So we're going to do that. So let's go to the Wik. Let's go to the Wikipedia and read Sarah Noble Ives. And while we do that, I will put our picture from yesterday, Walter Crane's amazing artwork, just right over here so we can enjoy while we read. And I don't think this is super long. Sarah Noble Ives was born in March 1864 and she died in November 1944. She was an American writer, illustrator, and historian, known for her children's books, including Dog Heroes of Many Lands and Songs of the Shining Way. Her work also appeared in publications like the New York Herald, Tribune, the Boston Globe, and McClure's, a popular and famous, I think, magazine from the oldie times. So here's a picture of McClure's magazine. It's beautiful, isn't it? Okay. Let's go back to Sarah. Sometimes she would do illustrations under the name Noble Ives. That was a choice that women made sometimes to hide their gender identity, so they wouldn't get, they would get more work, basically. Because women were discriminated against. Later in her life, she researched and published a history of Altadena, California. Hence, Altadena. And Altadena was... Sorry, guys. I'm making noise over here. I need a little paper towel for my nose. I'm going to show you my Altadena sweatshirt, and I put a link in the profile. It's a company in Altadena that makes it. And it's a wonderful sweatshirt. I love it. And I bought it around the times of the fires. I've never been to Altadena, even though I was born in California. And Pasadena, Altadena. The names sound familiar, right? I mean, they sound similar, right? So I think they might be next to each other. Okay. Early life. Ives was born in Grosse Ile, I-L-E, Michigan, near Detroit, in March 1864. To S. William and Sarah Manna Hyde Ives. She attended Port Huron High School, where she first began studying art, and a training school for elocution and literature run by Mrs. Edna Chafee Noble, who was a suffragette and role model to Sarah. This is important because Edna Chafee Noble turns out to be a huge influence in her life. And in case you're wondering what elocution means, that means how to orate and write, give speeches in a more proper way. So I guess it's like Toastmasters-ish, something like that. Writing, speaking, probably some debating going on there. I mean, all the things associated with being able to speak well and get your point across in a performative stuff involved way. She continued her education first in New York City at the School for Artists and Artisans, and then that sounds like a cool school, and I would like a link to that because that would be interesting to learn about. But there's no link here. And then in Paris at the Académie Julian and the Académie de l'Ecluse, which we're going to click into that. Académie de l'Ecluse was an atelier-style art school in Paris, France, founded in the late 19th century by the painter Auguste Joseph de l'Ecluse. And Académie Julienne was a private art school for painting and sculpture founded in Paris, France in 1867 by French painter and teacher Rodolphe Julien. The school was active for 100 years. From 1868 through 1968, it remained famous for the number and quality of artists who attended during a great period of effervescence in the arts in the early 20th century. Cool. Good to know. When she returned to the United States, I'm curious too about like how she came to go to Paris. Anyway, when she returned to the United States, she began to work as a freelance author and illustrator in New York under the name Noble Ives, in line with the other female artists of the time who hid their identity in various ways. Cheers. Career. Ives specialized in descriptive illustrations with varied, distinct characters. Some of the pieces include decorative Art Nouveau elements and apparel. She was proficient in black and white pen and ink drawings, as well as watercolors and oil painting. Let's click into Art Nouveau. I want to read a little bit about this. I think this would be a great topic for another day. Art Nouveau, okay. Jugendstil in German. It is an international style of art, architecture, and applied art, especially in the decorative arts. It was often inspired by natural forms, such as sinuous curves of plants and flowers, but it's very designy. That's my little footnote. Other characteristics of Art Nouveau were a sense of dynamism and movement, often given by asymmetry or whiplash lines, and the use of modern materials, particularly iron, glass, ceramics, and later concrete, to create unusual forms in larger open spaces. It was popular between 1890 and 1910 during the Belle Epoque period, and was a reaction against the academicism, eclecticism, and historicism of the 19th century architecture and decorative art. One major objective of Art Nouveau was to break down the traditional distinction between fine arts, especially painting and sculpture, and applied arts. And applied arts is basically anything that you're living with, like lifestyle art, product art, art that is in the world that is not in a museum. Like art that I'm going to have this design on a book or on even a building or on my wallpaper or whatever. That's applied arts, is art, or like detailing on your cabinets and stuff like that. So applied arts is just art that is applied to things in life. Not, just fine art. So one major objective of Art Nouveau was to break down the traditional distinction between fine arts, especially painting and sculpture, and applied arts. It was most widely used in interior design, graphic arts, furniture, glass art, textile, ceramics, jewelry, and metalwork. The style responded to leading 19th century theoreticians, such as French architect Eugène Emmanuel Viollet-le-Duc, 1814 to 1879, and British art critic John Ruskin. We've heard from him before. 1819 to 1900. In Britain, it was influenced by William Morris and the arts and crafts movement. Hey, we talked about Walter Crane yesterday. See how everything just like rolls together in a big ball full of rubber bands, right? And every different influence is another rubber band, and they're all on this big rubber band ball. German architects and designers sought a spiritually lifting Gesamtkunstwerk, total work of art, that would unify the architecture, furnishings, and art in the interior in a common style to uplift and inspire the residents. Okay, that was good to know. So, Art Nouveau, 1883 to 1914. Location, Western world. All right, so it was Europe, it was here. Okay. Works for children. Here we go. Wait a minute. Career. Ives. We're talking about Sarah Ives. We're not talking about Art Nouveau. Ives specialized in descriptive illustrations with varied, distinct characters. Some of the pieces included decorative Art Nouveau elements and apparel. She was proficient in black and white pen and ink drawings, as well as watercolors and oil painting. works for children. Songs of the Shining Way, written and illustrated by Ives, was published in 1899 and featured poems paired with black ink drawings. Ives dedicated the book to her mentor, Edna Chafee Noble. That was her teacher at the elocution school that she had gone to. And she does a very nice tribute, like a ode to you in the book. She dedicated the book to her. She wrote a little poem about it. It's very cute. Many of Ives' illustrations feature animals, and several of her self-penned publications include them prominently. The Key to Betsy's Heart, a 1916 tells the story of a girl and her dog. Ives created colorful illustrations for books like The Wonderful Story of Teddy Bear, published by the McLaughlin brothers, who often commissioned female artists. Well, thank you guys. She also illustrated fairy tales and rhymes for them, including the many popular illustrations for one of their editions of Mother Goose nursery rhymes. And we just talked about Mother Goose the other day. I mean, about the artist who did one of the artists who did it. Landscape. In addition to her freelance work illustrating, Ives also painted and exhibited landscapes for her own enjoyment. She said of these oil paintings, "To work in oils, that is what I love. The black and white commercial illustration is bread and butter work." She also experimented with early color photography. Later life. Ives lived and worked in New York for some time, then returned to Port Huron, Michigan in 1921. In 1925, she left Michigan and retired to Altadena, California with her 3 sisters, Florence, Cade, and Julia. All 4 remained unmarried. Ives was recruited by local hold on a second. Let me reread this. Ives was recruited by the local historical society to compile a history of the town, which was published in 1938 by the Star News Publishing Company. A resident of the town remembered her as a very lovely little old lady who trudged up and down the streets of Altadena ringing doorbells. Her house-to-house canvassing was not to sell books, but to gather information to write a book. Ives died in November 1944. Her home in Altadena is now included on local historical tours. Original artwork by Ives can sometimes be found at auction, in private collections, and on display in museum exhibits. I also believe that none of her sisters and her had children. So, let's look a little at The Key to Betsy's Heart. This is one of the books. This is about a girl and her dog. And we can just look and see some of the art. So it's very reminiscent of that Dick and Jane era, the artwork style, if you know what I'm talking about. And I think the Dick and Jane artists, and I gotta look them up because I'm very curious. This all is bringing this up for me. It's like looking at this made me think of the Dick and Jane artists, and I want to look them up, but I haven't. But I think it happened like about 50 years later, because I think Dick and Jane, I think that was like in the 50s. Anyhow, let's see. So here's, let's look at her. Let's read her. I want to read the thing that she did to her teacher. Oh, maybe it's not in this one. Maybe it's the Songs of the Shining Way, perhaps. So this is Songs of the Shining Way, and I might do this artwork today. Let me go all the way back here to the beginning. Songs of the Shining Way. And then, that's not the cover that I saw. I have maybe it's a piece in the book. There's a beautiful illustration. Edna Chafee Noble. Here's what she wrote to her dedication to her teacher. To Edna Chafee Noble, for her who dared to take the girl, half-formed and careless to her heart, I write these simple childish rhymes, that she may have that early part. The baby that she might not see, the childhood fancies missed in me. Which is so sweet. I love that. And then, see, she illustrated all the parts, contents. Excuse me. And then this book, is basically, it's a bunch of cute poems based on, it's a story of 3 children, siblings, I believe, and their little fun adventures. So every little poem features the 3 children and is told from one of the children's points of view. And it's just very sweet. It's just sweet. There's a lot of words. The art is really pretty. See? The butterfly. Oh, that one's really pretty. Look at this little kid. This little child in the big smock. Big smock-like dress. Oh, that's a cool one. I like that. Oh, I like the negative space with the sky and then the clouds. That is really cool. The merchant ship. Okay, there's cool. Yeah, so it's kind of like little kids doing their little adventure kid thing, you know? And it's super cute. I'm going to screenshot this because I kind of like this for maybe we'll do this today. I'm not sure. Maybe this would be a good candidate for today's art. I'm not really sure yet. I do want to make a decision though, because I don't want to be I'll show you the pictures I grabbed yesterday. I don't want to be doing all day things. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be doing this all day. I don't want to be here all day. Here's Shining Way. Songs of the Shining Way. This was, I thought this was a cover on one copy that I saw when in my research. It may have been like the piece inside. This may have been the piece that was inside of the inside of the book on paper. But let's send this to my computer and we will do it. So I will be right back. And I'll leave this here. Okay, I don't think it went through. Let me grab this. Okay, we got it. We got it. There we go. Uh-oh, I could be here all day fidgeting with this. I'm not going to do it. Here we go. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. We're going to do this piece. And I would like to do it perhaps... I mean, obviously, pen and ink is just the comfort. That's my comfort zone too. Like, I love pen and ink. But I am having a little bit of a hankering to use some color because I'm missing my color. I'm missing some color. So what do we do when we're missing color? We use some, right? When we're missing color, we got to use some color. So let's see what we're going to do. Get my water. Get a little water going. And a little bit of paper towel going. A little bit of paper towel. Because we're going to get a little wild today. Gotta prepare. Gotta have a little sip of coffee to prepare. Okay. Let's do this. Shall we? I'm just gonna go in a little hard, I think, with some color first to use as my sort of backdrop because it's gonna dry. And partly what's been like keeping me from using color is that I'm using this pen and ink paper. And I don't want to do anything with this paper that's going to totally like make things a lot harder for me when I want to go into it. But, you know, like it won't dry as quickly or whatever, but I'm just going in and we're just gonna suffer the consequences, and that's okay. We really are just gonna suffer the consequences because I can already see my paper buckling, but that's okay. I'm gonna use some tricks. This isn't really a trick. This is just common sense. This is not a trick. This is just common sense. I'm just going to do that. And we'll see what this gets us. I think I will go in with black. I just wanted to add like some color because some of the past few days, the line, I will say the lack of contrast has been a little bit of a not very impactful on the page, you know, for watching, I believe. So this might actually help a little bit to have something a little more impactful. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep going in with a little bit dry. I'm going dry, kind of like dry paint here. This is gouache, by the way, in case you're curious. I'm just drawing some of the back elements with my brush. You know, just placement. We got our sun, and then we have these rays. So I'm just going to do like this, just to emulate some rays. And then, you know, we can go in after with our lovely ink pen and draw the lines and everything. But this is just like giving me a little bit more life today because I really just wanted some, juice, you know? Need to juice it up a little bit. Just looking for a little bit of color. I don't think I like that. Okay. Oh, you know what would be really cool? How dry is this? I am so tempted to go in with this. There's like this electric blue color that is just so delightful. Maybe we'll do that. No, I think I'm going to grab a little bit. I think I'm going to grab some of it, actually. I'm going to grab some of this crazy blue. And we're going to do... Oh, that is pretty intense, actually. You guys are just seeing, like, this is just... I am just goofing around here. I don't really have that big of a plan here. I'm just big of a plan. I don't really have any plan. I'm just in it. I'm in it and we're doing it. And we're going to use this cool brush that does this like streaky thing, which a normal brush will do this streaky thing anyway. But I like this one because it's got these cool little, I forget what it's called, but they're very fun to use and they're good for a lot of different things. You can use it for leaves. You can use it for anything where you want to get a texture like this. You can use it for wood. You know, it's good for a lot of different things in a lot of different ways. It's really cool brush. I think I need to turn my page a little bit. So we're gonna like kind of emulate the style, but we're not gonna, I'm not going like, I'm not doing, you know, a copy like I've been doing. I'm just gonna go in and have fun. Like looser, you know? So I'm just going to look at the shape of this dress that she's wearing. She's wearing this dress and it's just, it really looks like leaves. It looks like, this dress looks like petals actually, not it looks like leaves too, but it really looks like petals to me. So we're just gonna do like, and I'm not even like so much worrying about the color either. This is literally like, we're just going in here on the shapes. That's what we're focusing on here. We're just focusing on the shapes. We're focusing on the shapes. And then maybe we'll go in with more detailed after. But right now, I just want to get some shapes going. And about yay here, we got her waist. And you see how big my brush is? My big, see how big my ferrules are? They're very large. And I'm just going in. And look at, she's got arms going up like this. And then she's got her hair, which is like very wild. Her hair is very wild. And I'm gonna have to switch to a smaller brush in a minute. So I think I'm on track here in terms of like spatially. I really do, because yeah, I'm gonna switch brushes because I think this brush is, I think we need to switch to a smaller brush now. Let's go to this brush. This is a littler brush. I think it's also, is this a filbert? Filbert. This is a, if whoever's keeping track, oval mop. This is an oval mop, and we'll see even if it works. I might have to move it. It's to get something else. This is a 1/4 oval mop, so let's use it for her. Shoulders, neck, face here. There we go. And then we got her hair. Her hair is just all over the place. She's got a big curl here. Did I lie? Didn't I just say that I wasn't going to use that brush? And we're just doing her big, swirly, swoopy hair. Like that. And we're gonna go back into this with some detail. So I'm really just mapping out right now some of the elements very loosely. Really just mapping out the elements loosely right now. And then we're going to go back into it. And then we have the star, which the tip of it is like here. Let's just do the star. So this is kind of the image that you see whenever you look up this book, The Shining Way or something Shining Way. This is the image that you see. And what I'm using right now is just watered down gouache. That is what this is. And I'm using it on this paper that I've been using all month so far. And last month, this is pen and ink paper, so it's not appropriate for what I'm using here, but we're going in, we're just doing it. So we're going to take a paper towel to this because we want to be able to work in it. Okay, let's see, where are we? Where are we with the moisture level here? I do think I'm going to go in with my pen, but I'm going to want it to dry a little bit first. Ooh, I got some pattern on my star from the paper towel. Pretty fun. What a fun little mistake that was. Okay, not a mistake, actually. It was just something that happened. All right. We're going to go in with this brush, and we're going to see if all hell's going to break loose here. We are going to see. I'm going to move all my instruments up there. I'm just going to squeeze my pen a little bit to make sure that I get some ink out of it. There we go. Okay. Let's see. We go now. Her head is here. Let's do what I do and just start with her little face. Start with the little face. I'm going to zoom you in. Zoom you in on this so you can actually get a good sight of what's happening here. We're just going in. That's right. If I sneeze, I apologize. It could happen any minute now. I think I have like some sort of little cold thing going on. I haven't pinpointed it yet. And I may never pinpoint it. It might just go away on its own. But that's the deal. Okay. Her other arm is like yay high. Let's draw some of her hair. She's got a real like Venus thing going with this hair. It's wild. Let's see. It starts up here and then it goes like, I think I might have even started to see. I'm not looking at my paper enough here. Ooh, my pen is super inky. That's what happened. Okay, let's do this and then there we go. Okay. I do feel a slight disconnect with the arm on the left because I feel like it's pretty high, which is fine. We'll just make it work. And then her blouse is coming, her dress is like, the arm is coming down like that. And then her hair is doing like that. Normally I wouldn't. I probably should have waited to draw that because spatially to make sure it's in the right spot, but that's all right. No big deal. Let's do the arm. Let's do the disembodied arm. And she's holding the star. Sort of. She has sort of got her little fingers on this star. She's got her thumb like that. I think I'm going to tilt you a little bit towards the camera. Like that. Just a little. Like that. Is that better, I think? And then she has her little finger. Oh! This pen is dripping. I gotta be careful not to get a big gigantic drip. I don't think I did. Why is this pen doing this? This is not the pen that I did yesterday I did the anarchy fill. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab my pen, the other one over here. Excuse my sniffles. Yesterday I did the anarchic filling of my pen in a way that was just kind of wild and bizarre, right? Like I just filled the chamber with ink and now it's just super drippy. So I don't want to use this one because it is going to ink all over the place. But this one, I did not do that to. And I know I just splattered ink everywhere and that's totally fine. Yeah, it's fine. So let's keep going with her. And then we have her little pinky hand. Her little pinky is right here. And then we can start on the star now. Oh, no. We got to finish some of her hair. We got to work on the hair. She's coming together. She's coming together. Okay, we got our arm here, and then we have an arm here that's gonna come into the fray. We're gonna do this arm. I think I'm putting my own pinky in ink right now, so I gotta be careful not to drag that everywhere. Okay. I'm going to turn my page because I'm experiencing some need to do that. Let's see. She is going to have... She's looking very Dolly Parton, I feel. Like early Dolly Parton. I feel like we're getting like a real... This one goes like that. The hair is just not going to be what it is in the picture here. I'm doing my best, but it's just not going to be the same. Exactly, if you know what I'm saying. And then we have that hair, and then we have another portion of her hair that comes into play now, where her hand is here. So let's do, okay, that one, and now this one. This is a little tricky. This is like a puzzle. It's like a puzzle. Yes. It's like a puzzle. Okay, this is the big one. This is the big swoop. It goes, and I'm confusing myself here. It goes like this, and then it goes like this. This is the internal loop, and then it goes like that. Okay, like that. And then we have some lines. Okay. Okay, and then we have a little bit of a swoop of hair back here too. Oh, and then her star is like on top of her head, kind of like that. And then I'm getting really caught up in these little details that I said I wasn't going to get caught up in. But I know it's not going to, like, you know, I'm just, oh, and then she's touching the bottom. Okay. She's actually grabbing on my picture. She's grabbing the bottom left portion of the star. Whereas in the picture that you're seeing, she's grabbing the top portion, but that's okay. We're going with it because it ain't changing now. Let's see. Curve, hand, arm. And then we have a bunch of hair behind her, like here. Let's just put our hair in. Oh, and then she has another hair over here like this. It's like a swoop like that. Okay, and then she has a little, let's do a little eyebrow, like that. And then her ear. And then my brush is also sort of giving me a thicker line than I want, but it's actually okay because you guys can see it better anyway. And it's kind of all the same to me. I mean, I'm just moving my brush around. You know what I mean? I'm not getting all wacky on this in terms of like, you know, this needs to be perfect or anything. It does not. Mainly, I just want to do my best to emulate what I'm seeing. And that is good enough, you know, that is what we're doing. So that is really the deal. Because I really do believe that if you just use the eye-hand coordination, you know, really work on it and don't get caught up in what you're seeing on the page so much. I mean, make sure your tip is in the right spot. Make sure you're doing lines, you know, where you want to do them. But if you concern yourself with like feeling the surface and all this, feeling the surface and really working the eye-hand coordination and putting your instrument where you are feeling the line to be, you're fine. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, okay? I mean, we are talking about drawing. I'm not talking about, you know, you're doing client work or stuff like that. That's like a different thing. I'm talking about like the act of creativity and the act of getting into the creative zone and practicing your craft. You know, if you focus on what's in front of you and don't get caught up in what you think you should be seeing, that's going to serve you in the end. That's going to be, see, and I'm going off the page here. And that's okay. It's fine. See, I think I made this a bigger than it is in the picture, but whatever. Whatever. Let's do some lines here, and then we have some lines here. And I didn't say this yesterday, and I mean, I'm just coming up with things, remembering and thinking about these concepts as I'm working on these pictures, but oh, here's where my disconnect was. This space here. It's really something to be copying, and I say copying because I'm not really copying. This is an homage. I am copying it, okay? I am copying the art, but this is an homage. It's a little bit different. It's in the public domain, so I wouldn't have to worry if I wanted to put this on a mug or something. I wouldn't have to worry about it because it's in the public domain, but I'm not doing that. I'm doing it for practice and as an homage to the artist. And so my why is different, but you know, there's a difference between inspiration and copy. And what I'm doing, I am copying because there's a lot of elements here that are obviously the composition. I'm copying the composition-ish, you know, in my way. Right? Draw it. And it's not even like a draw it in your own style, even though I am drawing it in my own style. Because part of what I'm doing is trying to see, drawing lines where they drew lines. You know, where did Sarah draw her lines? Why did she do that? You know, what is that saying in the big picture? Like, it's getting inside the head of the artist in a way that you can't do just by looking at the piece, you know, by surveying it. So this exercise is good for that. It's good to see like how another artist was thinking, you know? And because yesterday I was talking about how I never thought it was, you know, really a useful practice to copy others' works. And in some ways it is a very useful practice because you get to kind of, I would say, I wouldn't say like experience, because like experience with their choices, because that's not it. You're you're copying their choices, and then you're thinking about why they did that, you know? So that I think is very interesting. And I'm totally still marinating on that, and I probably will be for a long time. And I think I just never enjoyed doing that, because it always seemed kind of like a useless task, like boring, and it didn't make sense to me. But I can kind of get out of my own, I can kind of see it from a different angle now. Strangely. Strangely, I now kind of understand a little more. Something that I never really understood that before. Why would a person copy a master painting? But I kind of get it now. In a way, you know? I really do. I do understand. I'm going to zoom you out a little bit because I just want to make sure that you don't miss anything. I don't want to miss anything for you. Put the light up a little for you. Okay. Let's go over here. So we have this. See, these are really like petals or like leaves. This dress. 1, 2, and then we have another layer here, 3, and then her dress. Oh, it's 11 o'clock. Okay. We're getting there. This comes like that. And then we have these lines here. Show the shadow. And okay, now we have one more of these leaf things down here. And then a bunch of little things in here. So let's use this as our sort of guide. We have this one, it goes like okay. And then we have one in here in the back. Oop, that came out a little thicker than I wanted it to, but that's okay. I'm just kind of working with this pen. And I did order another one of these in the extra fine, so I looked at when I first bought it, and it was like 8 years ago. So I've had this pen for 8 years. That's a solid investment. It was like a solid $6 investment. So these pens are not expensive, and they're really great. Okay. All right. I think that's good. Do we want to do the squiggly lines in the background and all the little lines? I don't know if I want to. I still have to do some hair over here because this hair situation over here is not complete. This needs to be bigger. And then we have a few little pieces that are not quite. I'm going to turn the volume off of my mic for a little bit so you can listen to music and I can just tune in. There we go. We're done. Whoops. We are done. This is from her book, Songs of the Shining Way. And this is Sarah Noble Ives. And I hope you enjoyed this one. So I'm just going to go back real quick to her Wikipedia. Songs of the Shining Way, 1899. That's her version. Over here. That's her version. Right there. Right there. And here's my homage to her. And the background is watered down gouache. And then I used a Pentel brush pen to do the ink. So it's super loose and it's super fun, but I definitely wanted to keep her spirit, and I think I did. So thank you, Sarah, for sharing your art with us, and cheers to you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one today. Let me look real quick at what we got in store for tomorrow. Just a momento. Let's go to my posts page and we will see. We got tomorrow. Oh my gosh, Gustav Klimt, you guys, tomorrow. That's a biggie. That's a big one. We got Egon Schiele after him. Oh my gosh. We're getting into some biggies here. So I will show you a sneak. I haven't even started researching. I researched the day before, and I know a lot Gustav Klimt because I grew up with Gustav Klimt. Gustav Klimt, my mother loved him. So I know a lot of his art, and you guys do too, because I'll show you why. Because Gustav Klimt did. That's Gustav Klimt. The embrace. The kiss. You know this. I know you do. So we're doing him tomorrow. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to really... Well, actually, this will be really fun. I can use my gold. I can use gold pen. Black ink, gold pen. That'll be a lot of fun. And I can still use this paper. My goal was to use the rest of this sketchbook for this month, and that is still what I plan to do, but I want to add a little color here and there because the ink is kind of giving me an eye twitch, if you know what I mean. Like, I love it, but I've been doing it a long time, and I would like to add a little color. So that's what I'm doing. All right. So I will see you tomorrow for Gustav Klimt at 10 a.m. Eastern, and I will see you, and I hope you have an awesome day. Okay? Take care. Bye.